Good evening to all and welcome to the session. Hope you guys are ready for the session. Before we go to the questions, I would like to talk about what are the areas you're going to work on today. Today, as usual, we'll start with error location, then we'll go to fillers, then we'll go to starters, but not too many, only three starters. Errors, five questions, fillers, five questions, double fillers, in fact. Starters, only three questions. Para jumble, as usual, idioms, five questions. So read the first one. The first five questions go with error location. My pleasure, Nirmala Mala. So read the sentence number one and try to spot the error. Good evening. Good evening to all of you. Please try to answer the first question. No one has answered the first one so far. Most people would have attended the union meeting if they have informed in advance. How come no response? Where is the error? Most people would have attended the union meeting if they have informed in advance. First, you listen to me very carefully. Whenever you come across the word if, you have to become alert and you have to think of conditionals. When you think of conditionals, how do you decide? You have to decide which conditional. Never try to decide based on the if clause. Any conditional has two clauses, main clause and if clause. Always look at the main clause. What is the main clause here? Most people would have attended. So, what is the pattern here? Would plus have plus verb, past participle form. The moment you notice this, you have to tell yourself this question is based on past conditional. It is based on what? Past conditional. And any conditional, we have two clauses, main clause, if clause. When it comes to past conditional, main clause would plus have plus verb past participle. If clause should be in, if clause should be in past perfect tense. Which tense? Past perfect tense. So here, if they have informed in advance, have informed is present perfect, not correct. Where is the error? It is not have informed, it should be had informed. If they had informed in advance, and which if clause, which tense is it in? Past perfect tense. So do remember this question is about past conditional. When it comes to past conditionals, any conditional, we have two clauses. Main clause, we have to use would plus have plus verb past participle. And if clause, we have to use a past perfect tense. There ends the matter. And not only that, when you, because exam is fast approaching, first you try to answer the question. After that, you try to recollect whatever is relevant. Now, this question is based on conditionals. Then you have to recollect after the session. It is not passive voice. They means someone. It can be passive voice. That way also it is not, have is not correct. It should be had been informed. So either way it is correct, Kumar. I appreciate that. Either way, if they had informed, here they may represent someone who has to inform. They may also represent these people. Either way, it is possible. So whenever you look at a particular question, look beyond the question. Here, conditionals. Then you recollect how many conditionals do we have in English? Broadly, we have three types: present conditionals, past conditional, zero conditional. Present conditionals, again, two types: open conditional, hypothetical conditional. Try to recollect, that helps in the long run. You can consolidate your knowledge. Please go to question number two. When children have difficulty understanding a certain mathematical and logical process, It is often because their teachers do not understand it conceptually themselves and do not present it in a way that children can understand. A very lengthy sentence, it's like a paragraph, but easy to answer. I hope it is clear, Kiran Kumar. It can be active voice, it can be passive voice. What is the answer for the second question? No one has responded. When children have different difficulty understanding, no, difficulty, there is no problem. The word difficulty, absolutely no problem. Very good. Again, Kiran Kumar has got it right. There is a problem with the first part. What is wrong with the first part? When you talk about this, you have to use a preposition, difficulty in understanding. Then it is correct. Difficulty in doing something, difficulty in doing, difficulty in bringing, difficulty in lifting, difficulty in understanding. We have to use a preposition in. That is the error over here. And what is this question based on? It is based on prepositional combination. A lot of educators say fixed prepositions. Either way, there is no problem. You can say prepositional combination. I prefer this expression. You can also say fixed preposition. Based on this question, what can you think of? Do remember, prepositional combinations an important topic from the exam point of view. And how do you master prepositional combinations? There are thousands of prepositional combinations, but you don't have to worry. You have to uh, either way, it is correct. Yes. What you have to do, one is you can depend on a particular book. A book you can depend on a list of prepositional combinations. That is one source. You have 100, 200 prepositional combinations. But this is in a way you're learning in isolation. What I recommend, read the Hindu paper or any English paper, read the headlines, read the editorials. Then what happens? You come across the most important prepositional combinations. In the exam, they give the same combinations. So when you read a lot, difficulty in understanding, everyone knows that. Absolutely no problem. Very good. I appreciate those who have got it right. Thank you very much at the outset, Bhargav. Basics of English grammar, you can come to Unacademy platform. Use my referral code Murthy10. Right now, I'm doing basics of English grammar. So you have to go to Unacademy Learners app, use my referral code Murthy10. There you find my classes, free classes in the evening 6 to 6 p.m. Every day 6 p.m. Free classes related to English grammar, sometimes related to English vocabulary. Now let us see question number 3. What is the answer? No one has answered question number 3. Surveys show that the lives of millions of mothers and their children could be saved if countries would invest in programs that ensures a healthy pregnancy and safe childbirth. Here, surveys show that the lives of, let us take each one. The surveys show that, no problem. The lives of millions of mothers and their children, no problem, could be saved. That talks about a possibility, but chances are less. If countries would invest in programs, if countries would invest in programs that ensures, here the subject is programs, then we cannot say ensures. It should be programs that ensure a healthy pregnancy and safe childbirth. It is a question based on subject verb agreement. All these questions look very easy over here, but do remember, under pressure, not easy. All the questions here, many of these questions are from previous year's papers. They look very simple, very easy because you're not under pressure. But while taking the exam, your mindset is different. It is not the same question may become a little difficult. Please go to question number 4. Film critics claim that the number of scenes depicting alcohol consumption have increased dramatically over the last decade. If every question is easy, no point in conducting the exam. This is a very good question in the sense it is based on grammar rule. Yes, of course. Here, film critics, nothing wrong, claim that the number of scenes depicting alcohol consumption, it's a phrase, don't consider. The number is a subject here. The number. Already have learned there are two phrases, the number, a number. What is the difference? The number, the phrase the number, singular verb. The phrase a number takes a plural verb. Here, the number, we cannot use a plural verb. It should be the number of scenes depicting alcohol consumption has increased. Has increased. In the battlefield, everything seems to be challenging. That is right. So, what is this question about? This question is about a phrase related. You have to know certain phrases. Quite often, they ask questions based on those phrases. Now, go to question number 5. Everyone who visits Singapore is impressed by its cleanliness, which is mainly a result of rigorous implementation of their strict laws. A number takes a plural noun, the number takes a plural verb. Obviously, plural noun, that is not important. A plural verb, that is important. So, what is the answer? Question number 5. Very good, Venkat Kiran. Everyone who visits Singapore. So, the context talks about Singapore. This is a subject. He is impressed by its, already there is a pronoun. Singapore, third person singular. We have to use a possessive pronoun, third person singular, its, which is mainly a result of rigorous implementation of their strict. Here you cannot change the pronoun to possessive pronoun to plural form. Their strict laws is not correct. It should be its strict laws. I hope you guys got it. There is an error, definitely. It is not, that is not correct. There is an error in the fourth part. Their strict laws is not correct. It's strict laws. And here, this question is not based on subject verb agreement. It is based on subject pronoun agreement. If you guys remember, usually when I teach pronouns, I use a word maps. If you take the pronoun, you have to start with a definition, then you have to go to types, then you have to go to forms. After that, there's an important dimension. What is it? Subject pronoun agreement. One more dimension, object pronoun agreement. These two are very important. They have given in many exams. Subject pronoun agreement, object pronoun agreement, not easy under pressure. That means this is a good question. Many students cannot answer under pressure. Please go to here. You have you got all the 5 correct today? Error location. Everyone is always singular. Tirupati Rao. Everyone is singular. Every person, every student, everyone is interested. We never say everyone are interested. There is no ambiguity regarding that. There are no second thoughts. Always singular. Please go to, I would like to know how many of you have got all the 5 questions correct. Error location. Nagamani says all the 5 correct. That's highly appreciable. Arvind also. Saitej of 4. 4, 5 you should get. That should not be a problem. 3 is good. Late. Wonderful. Water-borne, this is an important word. B-O-R-N means to give birth. B-O-R-N-E, to carry something. Water-borne diseases are the most causes of deaths in the world. According to the world, grammatically not correct. Take elimination approach. At the world, grammatically not correct. We say around the world, across the world, throughout the world. Across can be considered, throughout can be considered, around can be considered. I've just used all the three. Now you have to decide between, you have to consider C, D, E. Waterborne diseases are the most related, you cannot say related, are the most common causes of deaths throughout the world. This seems right. Are the most large, that does not make any sense. So, what is the answer here? D is the answer. Waterborne diseases are the most common causes of deaths throughout the world. Answer is D. D is the answer. And how do you decide this? Remember, questions based on fillers. Contextual awareness is very important. Contextual awareness at the outset. Besides contextual awareness, you got to be good at vocabulary, obviously, because these are based on words, word power. Please go to question number 2. If there is nothing to absorb the energy of sound waves, they travel on, but the intensity as they travel further from their sources. Vector-borne, airborne, waterborne. Thank you very much, Kiran Kumar. I appreciate that. If they like, they will do it. Let us not request, but I would like to thank you for that. Nice of you. What is the answer? Question number 2, double fillers. Venkat Kiran has answered already. Kiran says first option. No, I'm sorry, Kiran, that is not the answer. They travel on everlasting. No, grammatically not correct. Decreases can be considered, but not everlasting. Travel on always. No. Improves. Not correct. Forever, you can consider. Inclines not relevant. Either increase or decrease. Inflate, deflate, that goes with air, not with sound. Here it talks about sound waves, so not correct. Answer is E. If there is nothing to absorb the energy of sound waves, they travel on indefinitely, but the intensity diminishes as they travel further from their sources. Indefinite and diminish, decrease, decline. Answer is E. Do remember, any question related to fillers, you got to be good at contextual awareness, exposure to the language, word power, to some extent grammar knowledge, you can. Please go to question number 3. Despite a growing, this is not an easy one, read very carefully. What does it mean? Please go to question number 3, double fillers. Despite an important word, after that, off. Usually they give in the exams, not correct. Nagamalleshwari says first option. Reason says no, not correct. Tomorrow I'll not tomorrow. Day after tomorrow I'll bring the timer. I thought of it, but hectic schedule I could not. Mahesh Babu, we'll do it not day after tomorrow. So 3B, despite a growing recognition that a lot needs to be done to help those without clean water, a report says that report seems correct word, and recognition also. Hold this one. Fantasy. Why should we use the word fantasy? Fantasy means imagination. When we talk about movies, we talk about socio fantasy movies. Fantasy means someone's imagination, not relevant here. Growing authority, power, not relevant here. Turbulence means what? Disturbance. We also use the word turmoil. Turmoil means disturbance. Turbulence also disturbance. Not relevant here. So, what is the answer? And a review says you can consider, but fantasy is not the right word. Legend you cannot consider. Legend means one meaning story, another meaning a person who is great. Logic, no. Answer is the second option. Growing recognition that a lot needs to be done, and also a report says present tense Report third person singular, we have to add s or es to the verb. Political turmoil, a typical combination, Nirmala. Political turmoil, political disturbance. Thank you very much, Venkat Kiran. Oh, that's really nice on your part. I don't know what is happening, the match. Each profession has its own. They should have used full stop and capital letter. Bankers, lawyers, and computer professionals, for example, all use among themselves that outsiders find difficult to follow. Oh, that's great. 210. What is the answer? We'll focus on these questions. Thank you, deep thinker. Each profession has its own. This is a bit difficult. Merits, incidents, for example, all use among themselves incidents, methods. You can consider. This also you can consider. Rewards, endearment, not relevant here. Now let us go to all these are not relevant. Problems, fundamentals, no. What is the answer? Who has chosen D? I appreciate all the students. Others, nothing to worry. Each profession has its own jargon. What is the meaning of the word jargon? Technical terms. Technical terms. Every subject has technical terms. For those technical terms, we use the word jargon. Each profession has its own jargon. Bankers, lawyers, and computer professionals, for example, all use among themselves language that outsiders find difficult to follow. Answer is the fourth option. Again, it is based on contextual awareness, also based on vocabulary, exposure to the language. Please go to question number 5. I don't know, I don't remember. Could be because we come up with so many questions, so many, in fact. Initially, many of these questions are from previous year's papers, but slowly I'm going to raise the standards and bring new questions based on the sleeps concepts and contemporary issues based on contemporary issues. Yes. What is the answer? Under the strategic concept of marketing, even this I have used already. Efficiency of marketing shifts from the customer or the product to the customer in the topic, not correct. Customer in the context makes sense, focus makes sense. Aim of marketing in the subject, not correct. In the discourse, not at all correct. And the objective issue. Purely based on contextual awareness, under the strategic concept of marketing, the focus of marketing shifts from the customer or the product to the customer in the context of the broader external environment. No, no, answer is a second option in the context of. That's a standard phrase. What is a standard phrase? In the context of. When you attend the editorial session, I use in the context of the editorial. What does it mean? Remember the phrase in the context of the editorial. So that is a typical combination. Based on that, answer is B. Now here you see connectors. These are from previous year's papers. I would like to tell you guys, you understand the standards. Initially, I'm creating some sort of familiarity, how they ask the questions, and slowly, based on these, you're going to get. Why not focus? That is the answer. Focus. No, focus on something is different. Focus off something is different. Both are entirely different. Focus on the question. Focus of the master. Where is the focus of the student? The student must focus on the question. Both are different. Food inflation is touching 20%. The government will have to tighten monetary policy to prevent further rise. Here, although it is not a contrasting situation, with the tightening of monetary, with this you cannot complete the sentence. Given that, this is a standard expression. Given that, uh, so given that food inflation is touching 20%, comma, the government will have to tighten monetary policy to prevent further rise. So what is the answer? Only C. Answer is the third option. No, 1 or 2 days. Please remember 1 or 2 days you're going to get familiar questions from previous year's papers. And there's nothing wrong in working on previous year's questions. In fact, you understand the standards. Hmm, exactly. So these are actually questions from previous year's papers and they're used by different sources. A lot of people use these questions so they look familiar. Nothing wrong in that. The government has decided to install renewable energy devices at prominent sites. Citizens will be more aware of their benefits. So, what is the answer? The second one. Question number two. Here we cannot use deciding to install, that is not grammatically. By making citizens, you cannot start with that. Answer is only A. The government's decision to install renewable energy devices at prominent sites will create awareness among citizens about their benefits, you can say. So you can definitely start with the first one, not with others. The company's sales were low at the beginning of the year. Its sales have picked up in the past few months. What is the answer for the third one? No one has responded. Please mention the question number. That is very important. Then I can make out. I can say right, wrong. No, no. The company's sales were low at the beginning of the year. Its sales have picked up in the past few months. Initially negative situation, after that positive situation. Then we have to use it is like contrasting. We can start with though. Though the company's sales were low at the beginning of the year, comma, its sales have picked up in the past few months. You can use this. Despite low sales at the beginning of the year, the company's sales have picked up in the past few months. You can use B also. But, yes. However, the company's sales have picked up. You cannot use C. Answer is only A and B. We cannot use the third one. How can we use the third one? Answer is second option. Only A and B. However, the company's sales have picked up. That comes later, not you cannot start the sentence with this clause. However, you cannot start with however. The company's sales were not up to the mark initially. However, they picked up later. That would have been correct. Answer is the second option, only A and B. Please read this parajumble. Usually, I bring parajumbles from the Hindu paper and The Economist, international magazines like Management Today. Oh, you could not read the complete one. I'm going to, I usually do that. I bring examples from The Economist, international magazines, but this para jumble, no, no, that is not right. However, the sales are picked up in few months. They were low at the beginning. No, not correct. Nagamaleshwari, that is not correct. You need one more conjunction. Not possible. You cannot start with however. And this is from one of the previous year's papers, actual parajumble given in bank PO exams. So try to work on it carefully and try to get all the five correct. A lot of students say E. The major cause of global warming is the emission of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide into the atmosphere. We can start with E. Perfect. What is the second one? Here, the first one is carbon dioxide, next methane, next nitrous oxide. Second sentence is please mention the number. Srinivas says B. Who else talks about the second sentence? Ah, yes. The second one is B. I will tick those. The major source of carbon dioxide is power plants. See, continuity of thought. Writers, they depend on coherence. What is coherence? Logical and smooth flow of sentences. Here, carbon dioxide, from the first sentence, they have mentioned what has been already mentioned, carbon dioxide. The major source of carbon dioxide is power plants. You have another sentence which talks about power plants. And here you have the demonstrative adjective. These power plants. That means what power plants? These power plants, one pair. So obviously it should be EBF, BF one pair. These power plants emit large amounts of carbon dioxide produced from burning of fossil fuels for the purpose of electricity generation. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is not a D. No, 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 no. You went off the track. No, 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 no. Please read very carefully. This is from one of the bank PO exams, previous year, one of the questions from the previous parajumbles from the previous year's papers. No one has got it right. I'm sorry to say that the third one, you guys went off the track. Now I see Malyadri has got it. Malyadri has got it right. Here, the first one talks about carbon dioxide. Second one, listen very carefully. Second one talks about carbon dioxide. These power plants emit large amounts of carbon dioxide. Again, we have carbon dioxide. Go to C. Another 20%, large amounts here. Another 20% of carbon dioxide. The major source is power plants. Then it talks about another source. Another 20% of carbon dioxide emitted in the atmosphere comes from burning of gasoline in the engines of vehicles. So, what is the fourth one? C is the fourth one. EBFC. That's right. And after that, it becomes easy. Here, buildings, both commercial and residential, represent a larger source of global warming pollution than the said cars and trucks. Here, vehicles, continuation, cars and said cars and trucks. So, what is the next one? Cars and trucks. Where is it? D is the next one. What are you left with? Buildings. Here, buildings. Building of these structures means buildings, both commercial and residential, requires a lot of fuel to be burned, which emits a large amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So, what is the correct order? Obviously, parajumbles are very risky. Parajumbles are very risky. The correct order E, B, F, C, D, A. This is the correct order. Great. All five. Now let us go to idioms. Beyond any doubt, parajumbles, they make or break your selection in prelims, because if you go off the track, out of five you may lose three. Negative marking is there, so that is very dangerous. To be in a quandary, this is an important idiom. What does it mean? Ah, that's what happens. Fourth one, the deciding one. To be in a confusing situation, to be in an unenviable position, to be on the alert, to be in a commanding position. This is a negative idiomatic expression. Unenviable, positive, not correct. On the alert, not relevant. Commanding, positive, not correct. Answer is to be in a confusing situation. At the sea, yes. He has made a dog's breakfast of these accounts. Dog's breakfast of these accounts. A bit difficult to guess based on the words. Unenviable means in a very good position. He has made a dog's breakfast of these accounts. A breakfast for the dogs not correct. An accurate summary not correct. A total mess of the accounts, to mess up something, to spoil something. A breakfast being served by the dogs not correct. That is practically not possible. Now let us go to the third one. His frequent journeys are tell upon someone's health. Telling upon his health, what does it mean? Maybe some get repeated. Don't worry, 1 or 2 days. I'm going to bring new ones. Sai Arvind. This is a second session. Wait with your fingers crossed. You're going to have uh, new ones, tough ones, challenging ones. Yes, answer is not threatening, answer is not improving, answer is not informing, answer is affecting. That's right. All bark and no bite. What does it mean? All bark and no bite. No, not informing, affecting. Telling upon someone's health means it is affecting that person's health. Fourth idiom, all bark and no bite. What does it mean? Children should only be scolded but never beaten. To be full of big talk but lacking action. Answer is the second option. No, no, not the fourth one. The person who appears most scary in Telugu. The person who appears most scary will help you the most. A person who talks a lot will never harm you. No, answer is the second option. I have taken fancy to this car. Take fancy to something. Yes, Aman. Aman, you are there. That's good. What is the answer for the fifth one? I have taken fancy to this car. Fifth one, yes. No, not the fourth option. No, 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 no. See, answer is the third one. I have taken fancy. Take fancy to something means start liking something. Developed liking for this car. Answer is the third option. That's all for today. Before I wind up the session, please listen to me. Today is a festival, tomorrow also a festival, and I appreciate you guys. In spite of that, you have come here. And today, one festival, the other cricket match. In spite of that, we have 100 plus students. I appreciate and I would like to thank all of them. And tomorrow, there is no session. Tomorrow, you all know Diwali. And Diwali evening, it matters a lot. Time to celebrate, time to enjoy. Enjoy the festival. I will see you guys day after tomorrow. Please, hope you guys are listening carefully. There is no session tomorrow. Wish you all a happy Diwali. I will see you day after tomorrow. Thank you very much. Enjoy the festival.